So I've got some figures here for some students who have got their grades in. These are out of 100, and so they're percentages, and I would like to get an average for each of these subjects. I would also like to get the average for the maths and science together. So it's really quite straightforward. The first thing I need to do is I'm just going to get the average for the English column here, and I'm just going to click in that cell there, B12. And when you're on the Home tab, over here on the right, you'll see you've got auto sum. Now you might be familiar with that. If I was to click on that, that would give me the total of all those scores, but I don't want that. I want the average. So if I click on the drop down arrow just to the right here, you get other options such as average, cells that just have numbers in them. You can count those up. So you've got the max function, which will give you the highest figure, and also the min function, which will give you the lowest figure. And we'll look at those in another tutorial soon. So I'm just going to click here on average. So if you've used the auto sum function, that is, you'll know that it will now select all of those figures above it. And it's actually including these two here. Now they're blank, so that doesn't matter. If you had zeros in there, it would affect the average. If I want to change it to just include those, all I've got to do is click and drag over those. Then all I have to do is either click on the tick here or press enter, and there is my average. And you can see that if I change any of these figures here, it automatically changes the figure there as well. So let's just put that back. Okay, so what I can do now is I can use my autofill. I've selected that cell, go to the bottom right hand corner, it becomes a crosshair, and I can click and drag that across, and that has now copied across the averages over there. So that's changed the formulas. But what if I want to average that column and that column? Well, I could actually just highlight both of them, but let's assume they're not next to each other. So what I want to do is go into my insert function button here, which is just by the formula bar. As it happens, it's here. It's one of the most popular ones. It's on average. However, I could, as you know, just type in average. Oops, didn't mean to hit the caps lock. Hit go, and it would come up with those that are similar. There we go. So I've got other ones that are similar to it. So I'm just going to choose average. I'm going to click on OK. And the first number, which is really the range, is this one here. So I just click and drag it. The second range that I want to include, which might not be next to it, I click in there and I can then highlight that range. That is now getting the average of both of those columns. As it turns out, the average for both of those columns is the same. So we're going to change something in just a moment. And I could keep adding. I can have up to 255 different ranges here. So let's click on OK. Let's just change a number here just to make that. So there we've got a different average there. So it's given me an average overall. So that's how you can get your averages using Excel. And this works in any version, doesn't matter whether it's on a PC or a Mac either.